Welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead. My name is Lolly, and this channel is all about gardening, animals, and nature. Georgie will always be where the water is. This is Buttons, and when he was a kitten, his mom was hit by a car, and I got called, and I trapped him and brought him home, and he's been with me ever since. Hey, you guys, use my link and my code in the description box to get 10 bucks off your GreenStalk orders. Dad is 84 and still comes over to help out every week. Time for the daily ritual. Pretty soon, this is going to have to be tightened up a little bit because we're going to have a lot of baby birds all over the property that I have to look out for. Donka is always full throttle, and all I can think is I am so grateful that I have a big yard for her to run in. This is Farmer, who got a rabbit one time, and he has had a one-track mind ever since. There's a lot of rabbits that come in this property every single night to hide out because of the fencing that I have. It protects them from the coyotes and the fox that are always around the perimeter of the property. And so the dogs are always going out looking for them because they can smell that they've been there. These guys are all nose as soon as I let them out. There's Crumpet. That is Scone and Bailey's sister. That's Donka, and that is Sadie. Fitzy and his brother Totsy. All right, guys, I have a ton of seeds to plant, and I decided today that I would start with tomatoes and beans because I think those would be great for what I'm going to talk about today. Now, I'm not an expert. I tell you guys this all the time. It's just based on my experience, but I want to talk to you about the size of the seeds a little bit and just in general what I've learned. The first thing I'm going to do is water all of the tiers of the green stalks that I'm going to be planting in. And because I'm going to be planting tomatoes and beans today, I'm going to be using all the original tiers because they have a little bit more room for those roots. Now, if you have a leaf tier planter and that's all you have and you really wanted to grow a tomato or bean, you know me, I love to experiment. I would say throw it in a pocket and just see how it does. The sun is out in all its glory today. It is absolutely beautiful, but that means I need to water this really well, even though the seeds are only going to be in the top because it's going to dry out pretty quick. What I want to do is get my seeds into the moist potting mix so that I don't have to water them after I've planted them, because then I risk kind of washing my seeds around or displacing them. George said he really wanted to help me out, so I said okay. He always likes to take mundane chores and make them a little bit more exciting for me. He acts like he's about 2 years old, but he's actually 8 years old. Now, I already did a video on tomatoes, so I'm not going to do that again, but I do want to show you what I'm going to plant and why, and then also some of the bean varieties that I'm going to try. All right, guys, let me show you what I'm going to be planting today. Now, all of my seeds are either from Hudson Valley Seeds Company or Baker Creek. I know you guys get seeds all over the place, and there's a multitude of choices to choose from. These are just from some companies that have been tried and true. I've had no issues with germination. Now, I do have one tomato that I'm going to grow. It's the Cherokee Purple, and it did not germinate last year from this particular company. So I really don't want to say the name of that company on this, but just know that I'm going to try it again and see what happens. All right, so these were in the video that I did on the tomatoes that I absolutely love. So the white currant, these are my absolute favorite. Next is the green doctor. You guys, these are so sweet. Both of these are like candy to me. I'm gonna grow ground cherries. This will be the first time I've done it in the GreenStalk. I did grow the black cherry last time and I thought they were good, but I didn't think they were as good as the green doctor and the white currant. And I'm gonna grow the orange hat again just because I love the vibrant color. And I didn't think they were as sweet or as tasty, but I love the way they looked and my chickens love them too. Now here's the beans that I'm gonna try. I've got the Royalty Purple Pod Bean. I've got Provider Bush Green Bean, the Gold Rush Yellow Wax Bean, and then I've got some lima beans here, the Henderson's Bush, the King of the Garden. Here are some cowpeas, the California Black-Eyed Pea, and the Alabama Black-Eyed Butter Bean. So really excited to grow these. Now the one that I'm missing, because I couldn't find it and I was devastated, are the long red noodle beans. You guys, those were my absolute favorite last spring and summer, and so I'm gonna find those and grow those again as well. I just couldn't find them for this video, but I'll show you guys what that package looks like whenever I find it. I wanna show you something about these seeds because I think once you do it a few times, it almost becomes common sense. You don't have to think about it a whole lot, and that is how deep you plant which seeds, okay? I don't think we have to stress over it or think about it too much. Once you do it a few times, it's just gonna become second nature as to how deep you need to plant them based on the size of the seed. Now, all of these are cherry tomatoes. They're very small. And so the seeds are roughly the same size. And so the depth at which I plant these is going to be about the same, which is 1/8 of an inch, which really is hardly anything. That is literally right up under the soil. Okay, so I took a couple of the seeds out of the tomato white currant package there, and you can see those two little seeds to the right of the word tomato, or kind of under it and above the word currant. They're really small, but I wanted to show you how tiny these tomato seeds are. And this is why they only have to be planted 1/8 of an inch under the soil. Now, to show you the difference and contrast that, this is a lima bean, and then I'm also going to show you a cowpea, and both of those are much larger than the tomato seeds I just showed you. And all of these packets of beans or cowpeas say to plant them 1 to 1.5 inches beneath the soil, and that's just because they need a little bit more room. But you can start to see how you can gauge by how big the seed is how deep you actually need to plant it. Now, the Cherokee purple tomato that I'm going to plant is larger than a cherry tomato, and so these seeds are a little bit larger, and so it makes sense that they call for these to be buried about 1/4 of an inch rather than 1/8 of an inch. So the more you get familiar with what you're planting and the size of the seeds, you'll be able to figure out just about how deep you need to put it beneath the potting mix. I'm going to use this blender attachment just to make some small holes in the potting mix. And then I've got all of my labels. So I've watered all of the tiers. I'm going to go ahead and put my labels in first so that I know exactly what I'm putting where and don't have to put much thought into it. All right, so let's get busy planting. Now, you definitely don't have to do it this way, but I'm going to go through and just poke 2 holes in each pocket in all of these original tiers. Now, if I was doing leafy greens, I would be poking 3 holes, and I'm going to show you that in the next video. Y'all, the sun is shining so bright that I can't even see what my camera is showing you, but I'm trying to show you the 2 holes, about where to put them, okay? You don't want to put them too close to the center because you're going to have the watering tray, but also the tier that goes on top of it, which comes out farther than the water tray. So you don't want to get too far back in that area behind the pocket. If you do, you may end up blocking the sun, and then you're going to have a smaller plant, or one that's definitely not as happy. I'm going to give you a quick peek at these beans before I cover them up. All right, time to push them all down in and get them covered up. Well, y'all, I was talking to somebody and by accident I threw some more ground cherries in here with the orange hats, and there may even be some black cherry. I don't know. I kind of made a hodgepodge here, so this is going to be a little variety tier. I'm off to a great start. Woohoo! All right, guys, thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you guys have started planting some food that you'll actually want to eat and some flowers that are going to bring you joy. I'll see you real soon in the next video, and until then, y'all have a great couple of days. Bye-bye.